This video will explain how to fill out the service info form that we use on a daily basis at every stop that we service. On your phone, depending on how you have it laid out, you should have a shortcut somehow labeled service info form. So let's hit that button, service info form. And it will bring up the form. The first thing you want to double check in this paragraph underneath the word service info, the last line, it has your name and company email address, or the email for aggregators, outpost location guys, that might be a Gmail address, but it should have your name and address there. At every stop, you stop the truck, you start the timer in Jobber. On the other form in Jobber, you start the timer, you go do your work, take pictures of the carts before you do anything with them. Take pictures of the full carts. If you're running a dump truck, then you dump the carts and wash them out and everything. If you're a aggregator outpost operator, you swap the carts, take the full carts, put them on your trailer, take the new empty carts that you have in your trailer, put them back out on the ground, put liners in them. After you've done the physical work, then you fill out the form. First thing you do is type on the service visit form, verifying that the name and email is actually you, is go to the truck number, depending on what company truck you're working, or if you're an owner-operator, meaning an aggregator, outpost operator, you would hit, in this case, let's go outpost operator. The next one down is location. If you hit the location box, you get a list of all the locations that we currently service. Every stop that the company services. And suppose in Mickey's case, who I'm making this video for, you're at a Balance location. You see Balance downtown. So you just hit Balance downtown at the top of the drop-down list. And it automatically fills it in. Now, if for some reason you get to a location that is not on that drop-down list, it's a brand new location or something, what you would do is at the very, very top of the list, it says not on list. Simple. If it's not on the list, you hit not on the list. And then in the second box on the main form, it says, if you choose not on list, please type in the location here. So you would manually enter the location in that box. You would manually type in the location if it's not on the list. But we try to make sure that everything's on the list. But so, again, well, that was good. Lost the form. Then we go back. Service info form. See, we make mistakes too. Owner operator. Location. Just hit the choose button. The list will drop down. Find the location that you're at. Balance downtown. Then you go down. How many carts were present? How many actually were sitting there? Not how many they have. Location might have 20 carts, but they might only have 10 of them sitting out for you to service. So you write down how many were actually there. One cart was there. How many carts did you service? There might be 10 carts sitting out there, but there might only be 2 of them that have actually anything in them. The others are completely empty. So then you would hit how many ever you actually serviced. Carts cleaned. If you're running a company dump truck, how many carts did you take the time to get the pressure washer hose out and wash them out? Some you don't have to if they're still clean, or if you get a location that does a lot of paper products. But if you get a location that's doing kitchen food, those things are going to be gross. You're going to have to clean them. So how many did you clean? If you're an aggregator, outpost operator, you're not cleaning carts. So in that case, you can just hit carts clean 0. And how many carts and how many liners did you apply? If you changed one, if you put one new cart out, or if you cleaned one cart, if you're a company driver, how many? But you have to, how many carts did you put liners in? So you just hit how many liners you put in. Going on down the list, volume estimate. Our carts hold 64 gallons. You can round that to 60 to make it easy. So let's say the carts, if they're completely full, they have 60 gallons of material. If they're half full, they have half of 60, 30 gallons. If they're 3/4 full, they have 3/4 of 60, 45 gallons. So you write in the number. If you have 5 carts and they're all full, that's 5 times 60, that's 300 gallons. If they're 5 carts and they're all half full, that's half of one cart is 30. 5 times 30 is 150 gallons. As you're going along, you want to kind of keep in your head how many gallons. And then you write in at the end the volume estimate. How many gallons you filled. If you have one cart and it's full, you have 60 gallons. Then the tricky part, pounds estimate. How much did it weigh? And this is strictly your guess, and you'll get better at it as you go along. But if the cart is very lightweight, that you can just grab it and pull it around with one hand, it feels like hardly anything, 50 pounds is generally the minimum. Now, if the cart only has a little tiny bit in the bottom and it's really nothing, well, then you might use 15 pounds or 20 pounds or something. But generally, if the cart is full of paper products and it weighs next to nothing, it's still going to weigh 50 pounds. Carts always weigh more than you think they do. If a cart is so heavy that you can barely push it, that's going to weigh 300 pounds. So use that scale in your head. Very lightweight cart, easy to move around, 50 pounds. Cart that you can't hardly push, 300 pounds. Anywhere's in between, if it's kind of heavy, but you can still push it, maybe 200 pounds. If it's a little heavier than nothing, but still not too heavy, maybe 100 pounds. Just kind of, the key thing is that you're the same all night long. Not necessarily that you're right, but you're using the same scale in your brain and in your arms. And again, this is the total pounds. If you have 10 carts and they all weigh 50 pounds, then what you write in here is 500, 10 times 50. If they all weigh 300 pounds, then it's 10 times 300. And you would write in 3,000 pounds estimate. So as you're doing your work, you want to estimate how many gallons total across all the carts that you service at one location, and pounds. How much pounds, how heavy were all the carts at one location? So this is per location, total number per location. The next section is contamination. When you're emptying the carts, we don't expect you to rip open every bag and look at every bag and take every bag out. But just take a general quick look. Look for beer bottles, tin cans, aluminum cans as they are nowadays, Pepsi cans, Coke cans, beer cans, potato chip bags, anything that's made out of foil, any plastic that is non-compostable. Now this gets a little tricky, you'll have to learn. A lot of the plastic that people use now is compostable. It's earth plastic. If it has a BPI label, B as in boy, P as in Paul, I as in item, BPI label on it, it's compostable, it's okay. Generally, cups and stuff will have a green stripe across the bottom of them, or some indication that it's not old-fashioned plastic. It's now compostable plastic. Silverware, plastic forks, plastic spoons and stuff, generally compostable plasticware will have a hole in the handle or some sort of design. A solid handle generally is not. That's regular plastic. Throw it away. If it has a hole in the handle of some sort, some design, that's generally an indication that that is compostable. Leave it in the compost bag. But just quickly look through the material. You don't have to pull it all out of the can, but just kind of take a quick look to see how much garbage is in there besides the compostable items. Pull them out, pull out the garbage, and then guess how bad was the contamination. Perfect, of course, is 10, the top one, 10, zero contamination. A score of 9 has just a little bit. Score of 8 has a little bit more. Score of 7, a little bit more. And on down the list. Most of our locations are pretty good. We've been servicing them a while. People know what they're doing. It's not generally too much of a problem in contamination. But every so often you'll run across, we have one location that the cleaners, and most of the stuff we pick up at this location is paper towels and stuff out of a bathroom, cleaning products. They'll also throw like plastic screens from the urinals in the, that's terrible. That's not compostable. But most of our locations are pretty good, and you don't have too much of a contamination problem, but you want to fill out the contamination sheet. Going on down the list, there's the lines for carts sorted. This relates to contamination. If, in fact, the contamination is so bad that you do have to take everything out of a cart to find all of the pop cans and stuff that are mixed in, that's a cart sorted. If you have to physically empty a cart to check for contamination, that's cart sorted. 99% of the time, you don't have to do that, and cart sorted is going to be 0. You don't do that. But every so often, you might. Upload pictures. When you get out of your truck, before you do anything else at the job site, open the lids of the carts that are there and take a picture of the inside of the carts. How much stuff is in those carts? That tells us back here in the office how well they're being used. It helps if there is contamination, you can see it in there. And it also times and date stamps those pictures. So if you go to a location and we send them a bill for servicing 4 carts, and they call on the phone and say, hey, we only had 3 carts, we didn't have 4, we can pull up the pictures and say, right here, look, here's 4 carts, here's 4, and everyone had stuff in it. So it's a backup for us. So it's important that you take pictures at every location. And then when you finish the form, you fill it out, upload the pictures, you hit add file, and it lets you go into your phone's camera file, and you can pull up the pictures just and upload them. It's self-explanatory if you hit add file. The next thing down is other notes for team. You must put something in here. If there's anything you want to tell the office about this location, that they need more carts, maybe they're filling up the carts they have so much that they need more, or that the place is dirty, or that the contamination is so terrible that it took you an hour just to sort the garbage out. Whatever you want to tell the office, you must put something in here. You can't leave that answer blank. The next one down is, do you have any replacement drops or collects? This is if you take a new cart to a location and you drop, and they go from 3 carts to 4 carts, or if you repair a broken wheel, or if you repair a broken lid, if you do anything to any of the carts at a location, you would hit yes. If you don't do anything, which is 90% of the time you don't do anything, you would hit no. When you hit the next button, if you had hit no, it automatically goes to one that you just hit submit, and that sends the form to the home office. If you hit yes on the did you have any replacement drops or collects, it brings up another page, And on that second page, you mark down exactly what you did. You dropped off a cart, you picked up a cart, you replaced the broken wheel, you replaced the damaged lid, or whatever. That's on the second page, which comes up after you hit next, only if you hit the yes button. So you normally you would hit no, you hit next, it goes to the next page, you hit submit, and that's done. So that's how you fill out the service visit form. You fill one out for every location that you service. Every time you exchange carts, or if you're a company driver, every time that you empty carts and clean them, you must record what you did, the truck that you're driving, the location that it's at, how many carts were there, how many carts did you service, how many carts did you clean, how many liners did you use, how much volume for all of the carts at the location, how much pounds for all of the carts at the location, how bad was the contamination, did you have to sort any carts? Generally, sorting is going to be 0. 99% of the time, it's going to be 0. Upload the pictures that you took and write a note. And you see it says, this is a required question for other notes for team. That's how you fill out a service visit form at every location. Again, you start the job in Jobber, you start the timer, you go do your work, you come back in the truck, you fill out a service visit form, you go back to Jobber, hit stop timer, mark complete, and go on to your next job.